Hello and welcome to another episode of Box Openings brought to you by Power Anime and a Luck Sack. I am The Keep, and today we are bringing you a box opening of the new future card Buddyfight Hundreds Assault of the Omni Lords BFE-H-BT03. Now this is a long-awaited box which features many of the Omni Lords that have been featured in the animated feature. And we are excited to see what kind of abilities that we will see here. Now, in last week's episode of Buddyfight, we did see, I believe, the fourth Omni Lord that came out, which was from the ancient world. And we have seen a number of other Omni Lords come about, but over here we can actually see Asmodai on the side, so I'm very anxious about that. There we go with the Ancient. And of course, Drum in his Omni Lord form. We are looking at one Buddy Rare from this box, 6 types of secrets, 3 types of SPs. We have 8 triple rares, 12 double rares, 29 rares, 32 types of uncommons, and 47 commons. Now, of course, the features out of here are going to be scattered all throughout the worlds that are available. The only one I think that's not going to get supported this time around are probably Hero World and Danger World, just because they have a thing against Danger World. Well, anyway, let us begin. Go ahead and open up my box here. Now these are standard booster packs, so they should range for about $3 a pack typically. And as we open it up, aha! And our first card that we see, the box topper, is an Asmodai. Perfect to go with your Asmodai deck. This one is a 5/2/1 size 2 monster, super tough Asmodai. Call, cost, pay 3 gauge, and put the top card of your deck into this card's soul. So that means it's got to have Soul Guard. When this card enters the field, you may discard a card from your hand if you destroy a monster on your opponent's field, and return a monster from your opponent's field to his or her hand. So you knock out an opponent's monster and put it in the drop, and then you bounce another monster back into your opponent's hand. So this could be a tough one, and it has Soul Guard, 72 pillars. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice start with our box here. So here we go. Now our current spread here, we're looking at 5 cards a pack versus the EB packs, which are normally 6 cards a pack, and this was 1 rare each pack versus the 2 rares that you would get in the EBs. So let us begin. Of course, you see here beautiful artwork in the front, lots of Omni Lord action. So anxious to see what's going to come about, so let's go ahead and make this happen. Okay, step it to the side. When I feel the packs, it looks like it's more about the Japanese type packaging now. It's a lot longer on the top than I kind of remember, with a lot of this over here, this kind of texture. So yeah, it feels a little different to me for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's just been a while since I opened a few packs. Let's go ahead and start off with the first pack. Oh boy, just what I want to start off with, some generics. Fantastic. Okay, but this one has kind of the Decker drum on it. Buddy Remodel Set, so it's a spell. All your Buddy monsters on your field get plus 1,000 power, plus 1,000 defense. I've got some action that I might want to use with this one. I play an interesting Buddy type deck, and so this will be, I think, a kind of a fun thing to add in there. Another Crimson 4/2/1 size 1 monster, Crimson Battler, Cester's Dragon, Armor Dragon, Red Dragon. When this card deals damage, if you have an item equipped, put the top card of your deck into your gauge, so it's a gauge builder. If you have a weapon out there, which is just an item. So it doesn't even have to be a Crimson item, it's just a regular old item. Fantastic. This one's a common. Mediator Botus, 6/2/3 size 2 monster, Magic World 100 demon, 72 pillars, 100 demons. It takes 2 to clap. When this card enters the field, you and your opponent may discard a card from hand. Deal 2 damage to the fighter who does not discard a card. It takes 2 to clap. Only activates once per turn. Wow, so that could be a force. If they have no cards to discard and you do this on them, then they're forced to take 1 damage right there, and then, or 2 damage. So that could be an interesting way to build right to a win or an impact. Nice. And then we have one of the cards that, or one of the characters that was featured on the anime. We have the 5th Omni Cavalry Dragon, Wind Bow Meglax. 2/2/1 size 1 monster, Armor Dragon, Green Dragon, Wind Shock. When you are dealt damage, you may pay 1 gauge. If you do, destroy size 1 or less monster on your opponent's field. So this would be like those anti-Thundermine cards. So yeah, when you saw Gao play this deck against the Thundermine Yamigeto, it was ridiculous. The other guy was taking damage left and right. And here we go with our first double rare 4/1/1 monster size 0 underling of the Fire Lord Ricky. This one was also featured in the anime as he was the buddy to the 4th Omni Lord that was coming out. This one has a pretty long description, so bear with me. It takes up every single piece of the space, even the little indent over here. You may only call this card if you have a size 3 Raging Spirits on your field. Act, pay 1 gauge. If you do, choose another Raging Spirits on your field. For this turn, give it plus 5,000 power and penetrate. Act, disposition of the underling. If you have a size 3 Raging Spirits on your field, pay 2 gauge. If you do, put this card from your drop zone into your hand. You may only use disposition of the underling once per turn. So this is when he was pulled from the drop in the anime, and then you can put him down, and you can apply for the 4th Omni Lord a plus 5,000 and penetrate, and I think it has triple attack. So even with a beefy Soul Guard right in the middle, this one's going to hit and hit hard. Really, really nice. Happy about that. Woohoo! Go Ricky. Alright, moving on to the second pack. That was just the first pack. Oh, man. And we're doing a lot of talking on this one, man. We're looking for another hour-long episode of box openings. I don't know, last time it was 15 packs. This time it's 30 packs. Hopefully I don't go 2 hours, alright? I'll try to speed it up. If I go too fast, just slow it down. I don't know if you can do that on YouTube, but try to slow it down for yourself. 3, 3, 2, pretty beefy for an ancient. 1, size 1 monster, lifelink 1. Not bad for a 3 crit there. Wild Dragon 100 Demons, Ash Dragon Defores. Or Defors, and it's 100 demons, so nice. We have a common Archdemon 726, pretty beefy over there. Size 2 monster, Soul Guard and Lifelink 1. Call cost, pay 1 gauge, and put the top card of your deck into this card's soul. So he's just kind of your standard Soul Guard wall that you'd put right in the front or something. All right, this is another common over here. Surging Dragon Waves. It's a spell from Ancient World with one of the Raging Spirit characters right in the middle. I think that's Billion Knuckle, I'm not sure. You may only cast this card when you have 5 life or less. Cast cost. Your life becomes 4, so you lose 1 life. Or if you have 1 life, or it says 5 life or more. So if you're at 10 life, it becomes 4. If you're at 5 life, it becomes 4. Counter, call a size 3 Raging Spirit from your hand by paying call cost. So you just put it down to 4, and you can put down a really fat size 3 Raging Spirit on your... It's basically like an impact during your attack phase, where you have them and you just throw down with the 4th Omni Lord. Really good support with that. Nice. This is our uncommon here. 5th Omni Armored Dragon Soul Returner Seikirei. 5/2/5 size 2 monster, and artwork is just crazy. This one's an armor dragon. Pay 1 gauge. When this card enters the field, if there are no other monsters on your field, you may call a size 1 or less monster with 5th Omni in its card name from your drop zone by paying its call cost. So this is like a grave digger. You can go into your drop, pull something out. Nice. Probably one of those Thunder Mine negators or something like that. Really good card to have in there as a side. Whoa! A second pack, and look what we get. The 4th Omni Lord, 4th Omni Fire Lord, Burn Nova. So this is the perfect match right here. That's the thing that won the battle for Gao. But, the battle for, Gao, I believe. Or no, it was Ricky. Ricky was playing it? I believe Ricky was playing it. Or, Bon Enma, or whoever it was. But this is Bon Enma anyway. But 9/2/8 size 3 monster Omni Lord, which means you can actually run at least one of these in every type of World's deck. So in Ancient, you can run up to 5. 1 is a buddy. But then you can actually run this in a Danger deck and anything else. Beautiful. Omni Lord. When your life would become 0 during your opponent's turn, pay 3 gauge. Your life becomes 1, and for this turn, you cannot be dealt damage. So basically, after they're done, or if they do an impact, you do that. Or if during their turn, their attack phase, you do this, and then they can't even play an impact to damage you. Not until the turn is over. When this card enters the field, discard your entire hand. Put all cards other than this card from your field into the drop zone, and for this turn, this card cannot be destroyed. Triple attack. Very, very, very dangerous. That is beautiful. I'm loving it. Thank you. Woohoo! Big pull. I'm liking it. All right, let us move on. That's only 2 packs. Oh my god, okay. Let's see how loaded these things are. Generally, there's only about 8 really special cards in here, and there's a couple of parallel foils and such. Maybe there's a buddy rare, I don't know. Maybe there's a secret, we'll have to see. But let us continue on. Crimson Battler, the Blacksmith. 6/2/4 size 2 monster. If an item on your field with Fist in its card name is the only card attacking, so you're attacking straight up, the attack cannot be nullified. Wow, so all you have to do is get one of those Crimson Fists with heavy crit and build onto it, and then it cannot be nullified. Frightening stuff. This guy needs to go. Oh, man. Then we have a spell set card. When your Dragon Knight on the field is returned to your hand, put the top card of your deck into the gauge. This ability only activates once per turn. This is Dragon Knight Formation. Nice. And this is a counter spell for Magic, also 100 Demon. Counter, during this turn, all monsters and items on your opponent's field get power -2. So this will drop everything, items, monsters, everything down -2. So really good for people who are trying to match numbers and build over you, especially for 100 demons. Ugh, this is dangerous. Definitely need to run at least 2 of these with a side of at least 1 or 2 more. And how come this looks like something that would complement my 4th Omni Fire Lord Burn Nova? This is a spell from Ancient. You may only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn. Counter, nullify the attack if it is not a link attack. Manliness Spirit Shield, as it was called. Oh, and I forgot to read the name of this one here. 100 Demon Sorcery, Pathetic. Nice. Alright, and this is your uncommon. And then we have our rare. It is a Dungeon World. This one is a 5/2/4, monster size 2, 100 Demon. Pay, call cost, pay 1 gauge. When this card enters the field, if you have an item equipped, destroy a size 1 or less monster on your opponent's field. Then, if you have 2 items equipped, destroy a size 2 or less monster on your opponent's field. Whoa. And this is an Adventure Knight Demon Lord 100 Demons Dungeon World Revolution Knight Rebellious. So this would go really good, 1, if you have 2 weapons attached. So in the series, we're going to see 2 weapons attached. And 2, if you have that one 100 Demon spell that says if you destroy a monster on your opponent's field, stuff a card in this card's soul, and after you get 5, you win the game. This would be something that you would probably want to use with that strategy. Whoa. Frightening. Let us move on. Okay, so here we go with more Dungeon World. This is the Dragon Wing Knight Dragon Guard 5/2/6, monster size 2. Call cost, pay 1 gauge with move. Okay, for that basic strategy, just putting them on the side there and letting the weapon hit. Then we have a 6/3/5, monster size 3, 100 Demon Magic World. Counteract, you may pay 5 gauge. Whew. If you do, destroy all monsters and items on the field other than this card. On the field other than this card. Pay 5 gauge. If you do, destroy all monsters and items on the field other than this card. So this is Magic World Ragnarok. And this stays on there. And it's a Blue Flame Master Justine. So, yeah, all items, that's including the attacker's items as well. So, and this is a counter. So this could be during an attack on their side. You could counterblast 5, or not counterblast, I'm sorry, I'm going Vanguard. You can pay 5 gauge and destroy everything on their field right when it was their turn. What a tricky attack. That's pretty nice. I dig. Alright, and that was what, the uncommon? No, that's just a common, straight up. And here we go with the common foil, parallel foil, really nice, has my 5th Omni Cavalries in there. This is the Drago Pride 5th Omni Dignity spell. You may only cast this card if you have 2 or more cards with 5th Omni in its card name on your field. Put the top card of your deck into the gauge and you gain 2 life. It's very close to like a jackknife kind of thing, or yeah, it's not a counter or anything, so it doesn't help undestroy anything, but nice. Let me just put this right over here. I need to make more space. Let me go ahead. Move this over here, put my uncommons over here. Now here's my uncommon. That's how I roll. Love these titles. This is a Magic World spell. You may only cast this card if your size 2 or greater monster on your field is being attacked. So while it's being attacked, nullify the attack. So it could be a link attack, could be anything. As long as it's being attacked, boom, you can play this card, protect it. And our rare for this time is Dragon Lightning Emperor Ivan 7/2/6, monster size 3, Dragon Knight. Call cost. Put 2 Dragon Knights from your field into your gauge. Rage of the Thunder Emperor. When this card enters the field, if there are 3 or more different Dragon Knights in your drop zone, destroy a card on your opponent's field. Kind of a heavy setup. Maybe you want to run one of these with heavy monsters. pretty difficult, but it's available. See how you guys can make it work. 726, no double, no soul, so it's kind of a one-trick pony to go out there and start messing with the other guy's field. That's up for grabs. Alright, put that there. Let's move on to the next. Just to let you know, these two that I got were the top 2 packs from this side. I don't know, they load these top heavy. Oh, love the artwork on this. Kind of reminds me of a Lum kind of thing. Urusei Atsura. But here we go, it's a 3/1/2 monster size 0, 72 pillars. Magic Realm Fantasista Cele. It's a soccer. It's fantastic. Probably goes with your Asmodee deck, 72 pillars. Beautiful. And then we have Dragon Knight Enrique. 2/2/1, monster size 1. Prince of the Sail. When this card enters the field, if you have another Dragon Knight on your field, you may rest this card. If you do, put the top 2 cards of your deck into the gauge. You may only use Prince of the Sail once per turn. Not bad. So you can put him down, rest him, gauge 2, then you gotta probably get him off the field for somebody else after that, you know, after you get your gauge. So interesting if you wanted to pull the gauge off. Nice. Wandering Knight Roy, Dungeon 5/2/1, monster size 1, Adventure Knight. Generic 1, okay. Nice artwork, I guess. That's working. Compta is the illustrator. Ooh, Dragon Lord Sword, Drago Emperor. I think we saw this one in the anime. 6/2. Pay 1 gauge and pay 1 life. If you would be dealt 3 or greater damage, the damage is reduced by 1. So this helps kind of soften the blow if anybody's trying to hit really, really hard. Danger World or anything with super heavy crit. And this also would work with like a penetrate or something like that. So it's any type of damage, including impacts apparently. If you would be dealt 3 damage or greater. So if an impact is hitting you, it'll reduce it by 1. Nice. And this is an uncommon. Put that over there, put that over here so we can all see that. And then this is our rare. Wow, pretty intense. This is something I would see out of a Japanese bubblegum card. You can barely see the border. Impacto! Let's see what we get. Dragon Lord Initiation Giga Howling Crusher. This is the finishing move that Gao used in the anime. I'd have to say I like the artwork on this card. It's pretty amazing, but the details are man, they're a pain to read. Let's see. You may only cast this card if you have a buddy monster on or a monster with drum in its card name on your field. You have an item equipped and neither you nor your opponent has a monster in the center. Typical Gao bit with a buddy. Pay 3 gauge. Deal damage to your opponent equal to the sum of the critical of a monster and an item on your field. The damage dealt by this card cannot be reduced. So it says it cannot be reduced, but you can nullify it if it was going to come after you. And it's interesting because it says the damage dealt by this card cannot be reduced, even though we had this Dragon Lord Sword, which said if it's going to be dealt more crit than 3, you'd be reduced by 1. So this effect would not go into effect if you have an impact like this coming down at you. But that's pretty awesome artwork. I dig. That's cool. This is something I'd want to see on the side of a binder or some sort of like lunchbox or something like that. If kids even use lunchboxes anymore, I don't know. It just gives it a little bit of flavor. Nice. Hey, this is a new one that I haven't seen yet in the animated feature. It's a new 5th Omni Cavalry Dragon Sandstaff Arcade. 2/2/2 size 1 monster. This card cannot be called to the center. When you are dealt damage, if you have no monster in your center, you may move this monster to your center. Alright, you may move this monster to you. When this card is destroyed, put the top card of your deck into the gauge, and you gain 1 life. Interesting. So basically, somebody does a Thunder Mine, you move this guy into the center, and this one becomes kill bait, where if you do destroy it, then you get plussing all over there on your side. You get to gain a life, and you gain a gauge, so it can be all sorts of fun. Nice. And here we go with a spell from Magic World. It's all cool. You may only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn, and if you do not have a monster in the center. So this is using kind of a Gao formation kind of thing. Firebolt that way. Alright. Nullify the attack. Sweet. That's kind of how I envision myself whenever I play this game, and I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, just follow the arrow, fireball. That's it. Awesome. Ooh, sweet parallel foil. I'm all about the cat dudes. Here we go. 2/2/1 size 1 monster, Magic Realm Bouncer, Endless. This is a count. It has a counter on it. Acts during an attack on your opponent's turn, so it can only be done during an attack on your opponent's turn. You may put this card from the field into the drop zone and pay 1 gauge. If you do, nullify the attack. Wow, Magic World coming through with all the attack nullifiers this time around. That's kind of crazy, but pretty interesting. I dig. I'll keep that foil. Give me a space for the foil. Oh, I'm putting the foils right over here. And then we have our uncommon, which is a dungeon world. It's Basilisk Slime, very much on cue with the whole Dragon Quest theme. 3/2/1 size 1 monster, Petrification. When a monster enters your opponent's field, you may pay 2 life. If you do, rest that card. Wow, so I guess that's whenever it... Yeah, this happens whenever. When a monster enters your opponent's field. So as long as this guy's out there, you can keep on doing it with as many as you want, as long as you keep on paying 2 life. So that's an interesting effect. I wonder how we're going to pull that one off. So I'll put that there. And then we have Crimson Battler Catapult Knuckle. 3/1/2 size 1 monster. When this card link attacks with an item with fist in its card name, so it has to be like a weapon basically, choose that item, and for this turn that card gets double attack. This ability only activates once per turn. Ooh, I can see how this can basically just boost a heavy crit fist out there, and then it gets double attack, so it can link attack with another one, and it's a 3/1/2. Not a bad boost, that 3k. So that I can see being used quite a bit for anybody who's using a Crimson deck. Nice. Let us move on to the next pack. Da-da-da. Always good to get the fresh packs over here. Feel good about it. All this new artwork, all these new techniques. You know, the Nationals are coming up next month, and I asked Darwin, who's ranked 3rd in California, what are we looking at as far as some of the top decks that are going to be out there? He said, some from the new box. Basically, some from, and I asked him that last week. So we're going to see something over here, probably some sort of Omni Lord bit over here, but I've got a few tricks under my sleeve that I might take people by surprise if they're not ready for it. So stay tuned, everyone. I'll see you in Pomona. Let's go ahead and check out the next pack here. This is a 5/2/4 monster size 2. Magic Realm Seaman Fornius. Okay, I'm going to read that right. Magic Realm Seaman Fornius. Alright. Caught it! When this card enters the field, you may return a size 1 72 pillar from your field to your hand. You may only use Caught It once per turn. So putting that down, pull something back up. That might be able to reset the monster sizes, but I'm not sure. Or it could be the ability to double up on a size 1 72 pillars monster that you could put down again and you know, benefit off of its effect plus again. Nice. All right. And then we have a 2/2 item for Ancient World. This is the Ringlet Loop of Fire. Equip cost, pay 1 gauge. All wild dragon monsters on your field get +1/+1 power defense. Reduce the damage dealt by the lifelink of your wild dragon by 1. So this is reducing the whole wild dragon lifelink and giving your wild dragons all +1/+1. So if you're using basically a swarm effect with a wild dragon, this would be pretty good for it. Nice. Alright, haha, new style artwork here. Dragon Change. It's a spell from Dragon World. You take 1 damage. Okay, so you take 1 damage. Boom. And I guess over here with this weapon, you could negate that damage. Oh, no, it's if you have 3 or more. Never mind, that don't work. Okay. Choose a monster with 5th Omni in its card name on your field. During this turn, the next time that card would be destroyed, you may prevent it from leaving the field. During this turn. Okay, so this would be a counter that you put down and you think you destroy him, and haha, he would be destroyed, but he's not destroyed. Prevent it from leaving the field. I believe it might actually still be destroyed. So this acts sort of like a soul guard. So if you have any effects that go off if something would be destroyed, like a penetrate, the penetrate would still go through. This just says prevent it from leaving the field, but it doesn't prevent technically its destruction. 2 different terms there, I believe. So I probably want to read up on that one. Alright, and this is Thunder Knights Double Flail Dragons 3/2/1 size 1 monster. Dragon World, pay 1 gauge. When a monster on your field with Thunder Knights in its card name move, put a card from the soul of a card on your opponent's field into his or her drop zone. This ability only activates once per turn. So when a monster on your field with Thunder Knights in its card name move, so when it moves, take out a soul from one of your opponent's monsters? Wow, that sort of sucks. And it's got moved too, so even if this one moved, it would take away a soul from one of that. That's pretty intense. That's abusable, and it's an uncommon, so have at it, guys. Go Thunder Knights. And then our rare for this pack is an 8/3/5, really beefy Dungeon World size 3 monster, pay 2 gauge, and put a knight from your drop zone into this card's soul. Move, penetrate, soul guard. Demon, Knight of Destruction, fold, break. 8/3/5, 8/3 penetrate, that's pretty intense. Nice. Good wall, good attacker, heavy on all sides. Alright guys, I'm looking for something shiny now. I mean, this is starting to get a little boring for me. Come on, I'm looking for some sparks. Alright, let's see what we got here. This guy I thought was Asmodeus at first, but apparently not. This one is a 1/2/1 size 1 monster, Thunder Emperor Zane Bleaston. Thunder Mine, and it's a 100 demon right over here. When your opponent equips an item, deal 1 damage to your opponent. This ability only activates once per turn. Thunder Mine, when your opponent sets a spell, deal 1 damage to your opponent. This ability only activates once per turn. So this is a double Thunder Mine. Interesting. It's size 1 monster, so you get a 2-for-1. Twofer. Nice. And he's a common. 1/1/10. 1. Size 1 monster, 10,000 D. 100 demon. Alright, lifelink 2. Doesn't even have a cost. Bronze Dragon Degala. Alright, 10,000 defense. That's a beast and a half to reach over, man. That's pretty awesome. Good job, Ancients. I want to see more of that. Alright, and some more of the Raging Spirits. This is a 10/6 size 3 monster. 10/6. Call cost, pay 2 gauge. When an opponent's card attacks, change the target of the attack to this one. So again, this is that redirector. Penetrate, lifelink. So you put him on the side, and he's a again a one-trick pony with 10/6, and him being on the side with no soul, that's a tough one. Vehement Dragon Emperor Super Shine. Notice he has a business suit on with a very sharp tie. That's pretty good. And this is a common. Level up. Nice. Mission card. Earn experience points. It's about time. I was wondering when they were going to do that. Spell. Alright, this is a set. When an item on your field attacks, put the top card of your deck into this card's soul face down. Act. If there are 4 or more cards in this card's soul, put this card into your drop zone. If you do, choose an item on your field for this turn. That card gets double attack. You may only set 1 mission card. Earn experience points on your field. Yeah, for that turn, give a weapon double attack. Nice. That's a mouthful to actually read. And this is my uncommon. And then we have our rare great spell, Auld Lang Syne. Auld Lang Syne, yes, nice. I don't know, it looks like a very people-oriented Knights of the Round. But this is a spell, and I think this one was actually pulled off in the anime as well. You may only cast this card if you have 7 or more different wizard in your drop zone. Wizards is a dangerous deck. I think last year it won the Nationals. Cast cost. Jeez. Discard your entire hand and pay 3 gauge. Put a card from your drop zone into your hand. Then return all cards from your drop zone into your deck. Shuffle it, and your life becomes 10. So you basically reset with 1 card in hand. Dirty. That's pretty dirty. So I guess you probably want to do that when both you and your opponent are neck and neck. You're both almost depleted, just chipping away at each other, and you just do that, and it gives you a reset in life. Literally a reset in life. Alright, here we go. 100 demons, sorcery, go away. Spell Magic World. Cast cost, pay 2 gauge. Return all size 2 or less monsters on your opponent's field into his or her hand. So jump them all back up. Nice. Oh, love that artwork. Here we go. This is a Demonic Eye General Rhodes Dillon. This is a Dungeon World 4/1/5 size 1 monster. No call. Cast cost. Cast cost. I got call cost. Cast cost. I gotta get used to that. Jeez. Oh, it's all cool. Got another one of those. Can't get enough of those. Wish that was 100 demon. And then we have our uncommon Twin Tail Incubus. 2/1 size 1 monster Dungeon World. When this card enters the field, you may pay 2 life. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 card with mission in its card name, put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So these are for people who really want to abuse the whole spell spell setting with the missions, which can get really dirty because the hand can build really fast. Nice. And we got our next rare. This one is the Dragonic Grimoire Backwater Inscription. Now, I think we saw this one in the anime as well. You may only cast this card if you have 5 life or less. Discard your entire hand. Put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge and draw 2 cards. You may only cast Demonic Grimoire Backwater Inscription once per turn. Nice. So you can do this and also have the other Dragonic Grimoire, and after doing this, you can Grimoire into a Grimoire. There you go, because you can only use this one once and then a Grimoire once. If you want to abuse it, I want to see someone pull that off during one of the battles. That'd just be so good. Lots of cycling through the deck. Alright, next pack, next pack. Give me something special, man. Give me something special. Let's see what we got. Dragon Guard. Pretty nice. I'm not sure who that is just yet. You may only cast this card if there's a monster on your field being attacked. Change the target of the attack to you and draw a card. Okay, so this would be to you in the center. So if they're trying to attack a guy on the side and you want to save him or something like that and take the shot, you can do this, but you get an extra card in the process too. So you don't lose a card when using this one. You just lose life. Alright, and this is a 7/2/6 size 3 monster, 5th Omni Armor Dragon Giant Battle Axe. Was it Dokujin? Call cost. That's like a cast cost. Call cost. Jeez, they are the same. Call cost. Pay 2 gauge and put a monster with 5th Omni in its card name from your drop zone into this card's soul. When you are dealt damage, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Whoa. This ability only activates once per turn. Nice. Penetrate and Soul Guard. So it's a tit for tat. You know, you hit me, I hit you back. There you go. And we got the foil version of Magic Realm Seaman Fornius. Nice. Go for the parallels. And the uncommon is the Ring Dragon Emperor Rust Iglia. 7/3/6 size 3 monster. Call cost, pay 2 gauge, counter, act. You may discard a card from your hand. If you do, for this turn, this card gets +4 or +4. So it's +4 power, +4 D. And it's an or, not an and. When this card attacks and destroys your opponent's monster, for this turn, this card gets double attack. So this is going to be raging and trying to, again, pound on top of any monsters that are out there. Again, another one you might want to put in your deck if you're using that one I win after 5 cards in my soul card. And this is 100 demons, mind you, so pretty intense. That was the uncommon. And then look, they reprinted the Blue Dragon Shield. My goodness, the Buddyfight 100's Blue Dragon Shield version. I know people are looking for this one, but you know what? I like to go OG, and I like the gold foil on the bottom. I don't know. The plastic look, great. But I guess now that it's available, yeah, you can go for this now. Finally! You know what? I'm going to keep this to the side because I most certainly need that. I've been looking for these since Box 1. I'm just so hesitant to open any more Box 1. But it's strange because I think a lot of the cards there are still rather relevant. I mean, Asmodai, come on. Everyone needs an Asmodai. It's ridiculous, and they haven't reprinted him just yet. Okay, here we go. Secret Treasure of Dragons, Drago Potion. That's pretty cool artwork. I dig it. Even though they're a bunch of potions, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh couldn't stand up to this kind of stuff. All right, spell. Choose and use one of the following 4. It's 4 things. You may only cast Secret Treasure of Dragons, Drago Potion once per turn. You gain 1 life. Put the top card of your deck into your gauge. For counter. For this turn, an item on your field gets +1000 power. Counter. You take 1 damage. That's sort of weird. But I guess, you know, if you take 1 damage, you can trigger off all sorts of other effects from your 5th Omni Cavalry. So, interesting stuff. Dragon Kid Lesser. Oh, that's pretty cool. 4/1/2 size 0 monster. If you have another Raging Spirits on your field, this card gets +1 crit, lifelink 1. So it's a 4 with 1 crit, size 0 monster. Nice. Pretty awesome. Drago Solid. Spell, Dragon World. You may only cast this card if your monster in your left or right is being attacked. Counter, choose one of your monsters in battle, give it +5000, and counterattack. So it's 5/5 counterattack. Ugh, normally they're 3/3 counterattack, now it's 5/5. That's just brutal. They're really up in the game this time around with all this. And here's our uncommon. It's an 8/3/6 size 3 monster, Dungeon World, Dragon Demon Lord, Arcdra. Call cost, pay 2 gauge. During the attack phase, the cast cost of each of your Dungeon World spells is reduced by 2 gauge. Wow, so this can get you doing all sorts of free spells. And this is during your attack phase. So anything like counters or anything like that, you can just spam out there during your attack phase. Not during your main phase, but your attack phase. So, and it's Penetrate Lifelink 2. Penetrate 8-3. Nice. And our Dungeon World rare right here, Aid of the Waterlord Stein Blade Joker. Blade Joker, that sounds familiar. 3/1/3 size 0 monster. You may only call this card if you have a Demon Lord monster on your field. Curse to the Lord's opposers. When this card attacks a monster in your opponent's center, destroy that monster. So it just doesn't matter. It's a 3/1/3, but auto destruction for a monster in the center. So that size 110KD has nothing against this guy. This guy will just kill him. Nice. Great way to get around the stuff. Alright, coming through. Man, we still only stuck with those two for this side. We've got to have at least one more. 2 more at least from this side. So let's see what we got. Here we go. 5th Omni Armor Dragon. Disintegrate Arare. 3/2/1 size 1 monster. When you are dealt damage, you may pay 1 gauge. If you do, destroy an item on your opponent's field. Okay, when you're dealt damage. So that means that forces him to try to knock this guy off first before going in the center. So he's a good redirector. Alright, Command of the Water Lord. This is a spell. Dungeon World. You may only cast this card when your Demon Lord deals damage to your opponent. To be honest with you, there has been enough support for Demon Lord stuff in Dungeon. Cast cost, pay 3 gauge. And you can always reduce that over there. But counters, stand a Demon Lord on your field. You may only cast Command of the Water Lord once per turn. Not bad. So this one you might want to couple with this one. And it says during the attack phase, and this one right here, it's a counter. So you can play this one, pay 3 gauge, pay 1 gauge, and stand this one up. But you can only do it once per turn. And this one's got Penetrate. So interesting combo there. Nice. And we're here with the generic. This one's the Battle Deity Robo Mass Soldier. One of these days I want to see a generic deck Battle Deity, and it's going to be dirty. 1/1/1 size 0 monster counter. You may only discard this card from your hand and pay 1 gauge. You may discard this card from your hand and pay 1 gauge. If you do for this turn, an item on your opponent's field gets -2, -2, -2 crit. Wow. This is actually not bad to have. They let me see. There's a 100 Demons Danger World card that's very similar to this one, so this could be a good, since you can fit this in any deck, this could be actually a good thing to have. And you don't have to have it on the field, you just discard it from your hand and pay 1 gauge. So, and it's a -2, -2, -2. And that's all we're looking for, especially when you're going against Hero World or something like that. Nice. And that's a common. Moving on, we have our uncommon generic Barbed Wire. And this one's a spell, counter, rest an item on your opponent's field. So boom, right when they're about to attack, hey, I counter, rest that. Not bad. That's pretty good to fit in any deck. Finally, they're getting generics that are very useful. And then we finally get another double R, DJ of Graveyard Bune. 3/1/2 size 1 monster. Act. Living Dead Scratch. If this card is in your drop zone, you may pay 1 gauge. If you do, call this card from your drop zone. You may only use Living Dead Scratch once per turn. So this is, and it's 100 demons, so you can use it on your 100 demon stuff too. But this pretty much is like the count, where you pay 1 life and you put them out. But in this case, you just pretty much pay 1 gauge, right? You pay 1 gauge, and you can still pop them out to be an extra wall or just an extra hitter. Nice. I likes. All right, moving on. Woohoo! More dungeon. Man, there are so many different cards in this box this time. Purgatory Block, 4/3/4, size 2 monster. When this card attacks and deals damage to your opponent, put this card in your drop zone. If you do, play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent. Deal 2 damage to the fighter who loses, so this can go either way, and it's 100 demons. Really fun decks when they actually do the rock, paper, scissors things. I'm enjoying that. Dragon Knight Galileo, 3/2/1, size 1 monster. When this card enters the field, stand a Dragon Knight on your field. Okay, so when this... I don't know when you'd actually pop that down. You can't do it during attack phase, so there's got to be some sort of gimmick to it, but interesting. Ancient Shimmer Energy Dragon Aurora 4/4 size 2 monster. Counteract. If you have a size 3 monster on your field, you may discard this card from your hand. If you do, the next time damage would be dealt to you this turn, it is reduced by 2 size 2 monsters. So this would be one of those like things that you would use if you have like a Seeger in the front or something. Nice. And we have our uncommon here, Scatter Armor Enma. Ancient, no doubt. 5/2. Equip cost, pay 2 gauge. If this card's attack is not a link attack, this card's attack cannot be nullified. Nice. Unnullifiable. 5/2. This card can attack even if there is a size 3 monster in your center. Even if there is a size 3 monster in your center. But what if there's a size 2 monster? Oh. Size 3 monster in my center. That's right. Okay. So he can basically, it's like the bow and arrow, can reach over and start hitting things. Nice, and it can't be blocked. So this is a great way to knock off things that are on the field. And then, look, see, we're actually getting there now. Another magic card, 8/7 size 3 monster, Fallen Demon Lord Lucifiel. Instead of Lucifer, they switched the R and the L. I hope that was on purpose. I know these are coming from Japan. I hope that was on purpose. Wow, I can only imagine. Okay, Lucifer, Lucifiel, pay 4 gauge, act. Was it counteract? Rewind time. You may discard a 72 pillar from your hand. If you do, return a size 2 or less monster or an item from the field into its owner's hand. So it might not be yours, but into your opponent's hand. So pop, yeah, you can knock this back. Really dangerous for Danger World stuff, man, because if I got like a loaded weapon on there, the weapon gets loaded, I lose all my soul. Not good. Okay, got 2 more packs. I'll put that right down here. Nice. To be honest with you, the shine and everything looks really, really good. I'm kind of digging it right now. Alright. Let's move on here. So we have Drago Pride 5th Omni Dignity. We already went through that one. Nice. We have, oh yeah, we saw this one in the anime. He was actually a fighter, 100 Demons. Buzzsaw Roar Dragon, 7/4/7, size 3 monster, pay 3 gauge. Death Loop. When this card attacks and destroys your opponent's monster, for this turn, this card gets double attack. Really dirty with all these double attacks from these 100 Demons. And then we have the 5th Omni Armor Dragon, Giant, Battle Axe, Dokujin. We already went through that one. Brawling Dragons. This is the uncommon Ancient World spell. Cast cost. Discard a size 3 monster from your hand and pay 1 life. Draw 2 cards. You may only cast Brawling Dragons once per turn. So this would actually be a good one if you're still running Seeger and you got extra Seegers that you can't evolve. You can dump those and draw 2 cards. So if you want to go back to that style. But even though it has like a Raging Spirits guy on there, but you know, you just don't need it on the Raging Spirits. It can be for anything size 3. Alright. Moving on. We have our next impact over here. Gatling Hardcore! Magic World Impact. Yo, together we're invincible, yo! Okay, that's enough of that. Notice it's all in Japanese. You won't ever get to hear that anymore. I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody, the whole cast got sick or something, but we'll have to see. You may only cast this card if you have a 72 Pillars monster on your field. Cast cost, pay 3 gauge. Deal damage to your opponent equal to 1 plus the number of 72 Pillars on your field. Nice, so you can hit them for like 4 or 5... if you have, or 4 or 5 if you got spells or anything else out there. So it can all add up. Nice. It's going to require a lot of heavy hand building on that one, so we'll have to see how that goes. And this will be the last pack on that side that we were going through. Just making room right now. Notice I'm being extra careful when I open these packs not to clip my corners now. Alright, Green Dragon Belmos, 4/1, size 1 monster. When this card enters the field, if you have 2 other wild dragons or 100 demons on your field, you may pay 1 gauge if you do destroy an item on your opponent's field. Boom! A nice item bomb. And it's 100 demons, mind you. Nice. Another 100 demons from Ancient World. Disaster and Bliss comes with dragons. Spell. You may only cast this card if you have 6 life or less. Cast cost. Discard a card from your hand and pay 3 gauge. Man, that's heavy. Jeez. Choose up to 1 monster each of different sizes from your drop zone and put them into your hand. You may only cast Disaster and Bliss comes with dragons once per turn. Interesting. You get the 1, 2, 3 step. And then we have 100 Demon Sorcery Evil Pulse. This is a dungeon, 100 demons. Nice. Pay 2 gauge and pay 1 life. Destroy a card on your opponent's field. Just whatever. Just boom. Nuke them. Has Yami Ghetto and battle armor. Nice. Here we go. Something very Vanguardian, I see. Battle Wizard, the Straight. It's a 3/2/1 size 1 monster. When this card is discarded from your hand, you may pay 1 life. If you do, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge. Nice. This is my uncommon. Yeah. And oh no, they reprinted the promo Wrath Trigger. So now you can get the rare version instead of always trying to find the promos that are well out of print at this point. But this is the classic Wrath Trigger. Pay 1 gauge, pay 1 life, counter. Choose a monster on your field for this turn. The next time that monster would be destroyed, that monster remains on the field. And for this turn, give it counter attack. Nice and messy with that. Finally, we're getting some reprints on some cards from long ago. Long overdue, maybe? But it just goes to show you how relevant, you know, most of those boxes still are. I guess people are just scared not to go into it because, well, they're a bit older. Let us move on. 100 Demon Sorcery, go away! We already did that one with Yamagero's Foot. Then with the 5th Omni Armored Dragon, Disintegrate Arare. And then we have the Vehement Dragon Emperor, Super Shine. I see something already. Great Battle Deity Robo, Kissin Rakshasa. 7/3/6 size 3 monster generic. Call cost, pay 2 gauge. If you are right on this card, you cannot call monsters other than Battle Deity Robo. Wow, so this makes it like a generic lock. Act. Discard a card from your hand. If you do, for this turn, this card gets Penetrate. Ride. Pay 3 gauge, pay 1 life. 7/3/6. This might be an interesting side deck card to put in there. 6 defense? That is beefy. And the idea that it's a generic, you can put this on anything. However, if you do, you can't put any other cards down other than Battle Deity Robo type. But this might be something interesting for Hero World people to consider. Nice. And then we have another Magic double rard. Man, that makes our, what, third? Yeah, our third one. Follower Gape. 3/1/2 size 1 monster. Beautiful artwork. I really dig. 72 pillars. If you have a size 3 monster on your field, reduce the size of this card on your field by 1, so it becomes a size 0. Act, pay 2 life. If you do, put a 72 pillars from your drop zone into your hand. And 72 pillars, that's not a monster, that could be a spell too. You may only use this ability once per turn. So if you have an impact with 72 pillars, that's dirty. Like that one, that's dirty. Oh boy. And this one goes on and it becomes a size 0. And you could put 2 of these out there on your field at the same time as having a size 3 out there. So this can be rather abusable. Nice. Okay, not that I play Magic World at all or anything. I have yet to get into there. But hey, this could be an interesting way of playing. We'll see what comes up of it. Alright, Green Dragon Belmos. Dragon Knights Formation. Gone through that one. This looks familiar. Oh yeah, we did this one already. Zustine. Very German-esque kind of name. Unwielding Dragon. New Ancient World. Counter. You gain 2 life. As easy as that. So if someone's trying to hit you for an impact and can't be nullified, here, just gain 2 life. Nice. And then we have our rare. Oh, this is the uncommon, so leave that there. A Dragon Against Thousands. Nice, I like the theme of it. Spell Ancient World. Put this card into the soul of a monster on your field. Okay, so you just stuff this one in there. If this card is in the soul of a monster, that monster gets +1/+1. So +1D, +1 power. Nice. So, doesn't say it gives it Soul Guard, so it only gives it a plus. It's sort of like, what is it, the Star Dragon World kind of effect. Nice. Alright, moving right along. 100 Demons getting all the love again, even though they just had an EV box totally dedicated to them, man. What up with that? No love for danger? Jeez. Alright, Ash Dragon DeForest. I think we already did that one right there. And there we are with our Buddy remodel. Nice. And Arc Demon 7/2/6. Pay 1 gauge, put top card in. Yeah, we went over this, is like one of our first packs. And Fly Trap Dragon. Looks like a generic drum. Let's see, 4/2/1 size 1 monster. If you have another monster with power originally 4,000 on your field, this card gets +1 crit. Ooh, yeah, this is part of the 4,000 party thing. And it's an uncommon. Whoa, and here we go with our next triple, our 3rd Omni Water Lord. What does that say? Misria? Misria. I don't think I've seen this one. So this is the 3rd Omni Lord, Misria. That sorta looks like a Buddyfight character that I know that keeps on losing during battles. But he's a 6/5 size 2 monster. Omni Lord, so you can play this on any deck. Pay 2 gauge and put up to 2 spell cards from your drop zone into this card's soul. Double attack, soul guard, lifelink 2. But it gets double attack at 6/2, and you put 2 cards in there, so it actually gets soul guard. That's pretty nice. As a matter of fact, this sounds very much like the Iblis on Danger World, except you pay 2 gauge, but you get 2 soul. That's not a bad trade-off. That's something that could happen, and it's only a size 2, which means that it can be targeted a lot easier than, say, size 3s, because there's a ton of spells that kind of wipe size 2s off the map. So you need to watch out for that, but that's pretty good. That's pretty interesting. Nice! Beautiful shine there. I'm going to replace that section right there. Put these guys, I don't know, I'll put them right over here. You don't need to see the packs anymore. You've seen them, I'll just go ahead and put them at the top. Ooh, I do like the foils on these things, man. That is really good. Super excited about that. Woohoo! Got our Omni Lords going on. Okay, so 5th Omni Armored Dragon Smuggler Torami. 4/1/3, so it could be part of the 4,000 attackers, I believe. 4/1/3 size 1 monster. This card cannot be called to the center. Pay 1 gauge. When you are dealt damage, you may choose to put a card from your gauge into your hand. You may choose to put a card from your gauge into your hand. This ability only activates once per turn. So if you know a card that went into your gauge, you could choose that card and put it back into your hand. Nice. That's very interesting. Dragon Kid Lesser, we saw that one already. Disaster and Bliss comes with the dragons, we saw that one already. Ooh, 100 Demon. Blowout Emperor Las Volganen. It looks like Ganondorf kind of in there. Somewhere in there. 5/2/1 size 1 monster. When your opponent is dealt damage by the effects of Thundermine, destroy a size 1 or less monster on your opponent's field. Not bad for a size 1 monster. Lifelink 1. Pretty good, 100 Demon. And this is the uncommon. And then we have 7/2/6 Dragon Guardian of the Sanctuary, Lumiere. 7/2/6. Call cost, pay 2 gauge. When this card enters the field or is destroyed, destroy a size 1 or less monster on your opponent's field. Double attack. Double attack, and so this would be really good against Thundermines because you could basically just wipe out the Thundermine guy once this guy's blown off the field. Nice. Okay, we'll just put my rares there. Next one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we already got 6 double rare? So I'm maybe only getting 2 out of here? Remember, normally it's 8, so I don't know what to expect out of this. I still got quite a few packs here. Already did this one. Already did Dragon Change. We got a foil version of the Manliness Spirit Shield. Nice, I dig my parallels. I'm keeping that one. And then we have our uncommon Apprentice Knight Rue, not Dew, but Rue, 4/2/1 size 1 monster. If you have a knight item equipped, this card gets plus 3,000. Wow, so it becomes a 7/2. Nice. Beefy. And then we have Drago Wizard Gorgas. 4/2/3 size 2 monster. Wizard, Magic World. Call cost. Pay 2 gauge and put up to 2 wizards from your drop zone into this card's soul. It does have soul guard. Act, Spirit Orb. You may rest this card. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent. If there are 2 or more cards in this card's soul, deal 2 damage instead. You may only use Spirit Orb once per turn. Nice. So you can actually do 2 damage if you have more than 1 soul in here. So you need soul stuffers and you need this guy to be leaping over. Basically, this would be your Shadow Dive for Magic World. Nice. Alright, moving on, moving on. We saw this guy again, Thunder Emperor Zine Bleestand. Extreme Dragon Sword Drago Braver, so versus the Drago Brave. It's a 4/3. Equip cost, pay 1 gauge and discard a card from your hand. This card cannot attack the left or right. Penetrate, so it's a 4/3. Jeez, heavy. Heavy. 100 Demon Sorcery Evil Pulse. Yamigeto with armor. This is the uncommon Amber Dragon Kantal. 3/2/1 size 0 monster. You may only call this card if you have a wild dragon on your field. Don't know why. Can't say it's too special yet, but I love the bunnies. I love the bunnies. Alright, and the next card after that, that's an uncommon too. I gotta see how that's used. Honor Emperor Dragon Magic Gun Ricky. More Rickies. 8/5 size 3 monster. Call cost. Pay 2 gauge and put the top card of your deck into this card's soul. When an opponent's card attacks, change target to attack this card. So it's a redirector. All other Raging Spirits on your field get +1 crit. Okay. So if you have size 0 Raging Spirits, they get +1 crit, plus your weapon, plus this is a redirector with Soul Guard. That's pretty heavy. Really, really nice. Sweet deal. Alright, moving on. I'm getting tired, guys. There's a lot of this stuff. Even the battery power on my camera is saying, hey man, hurry up. I'm gonna try. There's just so many new cards that are out this time, right? Purgatory Block. 5th Omni Cavalry Dragon, Sand Staff, Arcade. Shimmer Energy Dragon, Aurora. Great Commander, Dvorak. Okay, haven't seen that name since Darkstalkers. 4/2/5, monster size 2. Call cost. Pay 1 gauge and put the top card of your deck into this card's soul. Soul Guard. Nice. Love that artwork, by the way. And then we have our next triple rare Dragon Knight Pissarro. 4/2/4, so he's part of the 4000 series, and he's also a 100 demon. Check that out. Size 2 monster. Act Bloody History. You may rest this card. If you do, draw a card. You may only use Bloody History once per turn. Nice 4/2/4. I kind of dig. Size 2 monster. I'm not sure if I want to spend it all just to do that. But we'll go ahead and put them right down here. Moving on. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I should only be getting one more out of all these packs as per the calculations and averages of what I normally get specials in the box. Hopefully we can get one of these Buddy Rares or something like that. Normally it's at the beginning of the box, so Alright, Crimson Battler, Cester Dragon. Already saw that one. Very Muay Thai. Demonic Eye General, Rhodes Dillon. Revolution Dragon, Evolution. Okay, 5/2/5, size 2 monster. Act, you may, if you have a size 3 monster on your field, you may discard this card from your hand and pay 1 gauge. If you do, choose a monster on your field, and for this turn, that card gets +1 crit. Lifelink 1. Ooh, we actually get some Buddyfight characters up in here. You can't stand those pants. I'm sorry, dude. But this is Happy Camper. It's a set Magic World spell. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, choose a wizard monster on your field. During this turn, when your opponent's card attack, change the target of the attack to that monster. Okay, at the beginning of your opponent's attack, choose a wizard on your field. Okay, you may only set one. So this is, as long as this is persistent, you can keep on redirecting the attacks to some guy on the side as long as he's a wizard. Not bad. Saves you a direct attack. That's an uncommon. And then we have a wizard or a Magic World weapon, rare, Gunrod Symphonian, 2/2. Equip cost, pay 1 life. You may rest this card if you do deal 1 damage to your opponent. So this actually gives you options. So it's not a 1, it's a 2 crit. So you can actually attack or boost, but you can still do the 1 damage to your opponent. Pay 1 gauge and destroy this card. If you do, put a card from the drop zone with Great Spell in its card name into your hand. Great Spell. Ice Blade. I mean, I see a lot of merging with Legend World with this. I don't know. That's pretty nice. Let's see what's going on with these. Give me a special flag. I see those specials all the time. I want to see you get a special flag. Alright. Drago Pride, 5th Omni Dignity. Surging Dragon Waves. Foil Wrath Trigger. Oh, that's so cool. I'm going to keep that one. 5th Omni Armor Dragon, Steel Ball Rindo. 4/3/4. Monster size 2. Wow, so there's a 4000 party over there. Pay 1 gauge. If you have another card with 5th Omni in its card name on your field, this card gets +1 crit. It already has 3 crits. It's going to be a 4/4/4. Very unlucky number in Japanese, but man, does that do some damage. And it's got move. Sweet deal. Alright, and that's my uncommon. And then I got my rare over here, Battle Wizard, the Ace, 2/1/2 size 0 monster. When this card is discarded from your hand, you may pay 1 life. If you do, draw a card. Okay, well, pay 1 life, lose a card in your hand, get a card. Eesh, I don't know. It's going to require lots of movement. Come on, give me a lucky one. Give me a lucky pull. Let's see what I get. Let's see what I get. Ugh. Surprised there's still new cards after going through all this box. Alright, Command of the Water Lord. Dragon Wing Knight, Dragon Guard. Battle DD Robot, Masked Soldier. I got 2 of those now. Nice. Descendant Dragon Emperor, Everrock. 6/3/6, monster size 3. Ancient World Raging Spirits, call cost, pay 1 gauge. When an opponent's card attacks, change the target of the attack to this card. If you have 1 monster on your field with, and your opponent has 1 monster on his or her field, this card gets +2/+2, and this card cannot be destroyed by effects. 30. So if you got an monster on your side, and I got this card, and I got a size 0 on there, you can't destroy me with effects, can't bounce me, can't counterattack, any of that good stuff. Not bad. Sweet deal. And that one's my uncommon, so we'll do that. And then we have the 5th Omni Cavalry Dragon, Ice Lance Merrick. 6/2/3, size 2 monster. This card cannot be called to the center. If you have another monster on your field with 5th Omni in its card name, this card gets Penetrate. When you would be dealt damage, you may pay 1 gauge. If you do, that damage is reduced by 1. Nice! So this is an instant damage reducer if it's still on the field, so forces him to knock this guy out. Come on, Buddy Rare. Come on, Secret. Give me something. Give me something. You know, we did have one of our locals actually pull another secret pack with Ozzy Dahaka in it. Oh, those things are so amazing. I love it when people actually open those stuff and get it. It's just like, oh, the music plays. Crimson Battler, the Blacksmith. Mediator, Botis. Wandering Knight, Roy. 5/2/1, monster size 1. Yeah, standard. Foil version, that's how I roll. Nice. That's not foil version. I was looking at the one on the bottom here, which is our double rare. So I'm going to put that as my uncommon. And this is another Magic World Never Say Never Magic World spell. Put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge. Then, if there are no cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. You may only cast this Never Say Never once per turn. So this is after you have like no cards in your hand and you magically make 2 appear in your hand. Nice. So, I'm going to have to look into the Magic World deck. I think that's one world that I really stayed away from. I don't know. Didn't have the heavy crit, didn't have the 1-turn kill. It's one of those like mid-range to long-term kind of attacks, and I know I should be getting into it because the Wizards took it last time, and that was so surprising. No matter where, dragons rule supreme. Set card for Ancients. You and your opponent cannot call monsters to the center, so this kind of is like a deadlock, sort of like the Danger World card that they had before. And we have the Secret Treasure of Dragons, Drago Potion. Need to run at least 2 or 3 of those. Drago Solid. The uncommon Drago Bind attack. Cast cost, pay 1 gauge. Draw a card during this turn. During the battle in which cards on your field link attack your opponent's monster, your opponent cannot use or cast a counter. Dirty. So this is an anti-counter link attack card. That's pretty good. Nice. Uncommon. And then we have Knight of Glory, El Quixote. Hey, we remember this guy. This was the quiet version of El Quixote when he was fighting on the anime. 3/1/1, size 1 monster. When this card link attacks with another adventurer, put the top card of your deck into your gauge. Then, if you have an adventurer item equipped, for this turn, that card gets +1 crit and penetrate. Do you see a pattern here? I see Armor Dragons and Dungeon actually merging. I see those 2 worlds coming together. I see Magic World and Legend World actually coming together with a lot of the vocabulary that's being put into their stuff. This is kind of freaky. This is kind of unique. I am anxious to see how things are going to roll with this. Alright, so here we go. Magic Realm Bouncer Andless. Drago Kid Ruse. 3/1/1, size 0 monster. Counteract. Put this card from your field into your drop zone. If you do for this turn, a size 3 Raging Spirit monster on your field gets +1/+1. +1 power, +1d. That looks so pathetic. I don't know if I want to run that guy. Yes! Foil version. Brawling Dragon. Nice. Love that parallel foil. Going on land, Dragon Land. It's a set Dragon World. When a Dragon Knight rests during your main phase, you gain 1 life. This ability only activates once per turn. You may only set 1 Dragon Land on your field. Nice. And then we have another impact over here. This one being our 3rd Omni Lord again. And I swear that is the character from whatchamacallit, on Buddyfight. I forgot his name. Kiri? Kiri? That's Kiri. It's gotta be Kiri. Darkness Final Mission card, World End. Demon Lord. Set. When your Demon Lord on the field attacks, put the top card of your deck into this card's soul face down. At the end of your attack phase, if there are 5 or more cards in this card's soul, destroy all cards on your opponent's field. His or her life becomes 1 and destroy this card. Wow. So that just leaves him blank and he's got a top deck like crazy. Knowing Gal, he'll get something like a Grimoire into another Grimoire and then have his hand right back and heal 3 and pull out Gold Ritter and all sorts of craziness, right? Alright, so here we go. Dragon Knight Enrique. Ringlet Loop of Fire. Dragon Knight Galileo. Brawling Dragons. Got another one of those. Uncommon. And then we have our next rare Magic World, Mind of Hardcore. Yeah. I might need to start running magic because of this card, but that's beside the point. Alright, let us continue Magic World. You may only cast this card if you have 2 or more 72 pillar monsters on your field. Put the top 3 cards of your deck into your gauge. You may only cast Mind of Hardcore once per turn. You gotta control yourself when it comes to that. Nice. Alright, and final pack that we are going to be pulling today, Asmodee. Give me a special Asmodee. Give me something good. Well, I already got my Curie, so I'm alright. So let's see what we get. Any new cards? No matter where, Dragon rules supreme. And we got our Endless again. Ooh, crazy artwork on this one. Explosive Happiness, Endless Magnum. Explosive Happiness. You may only cast this card if you have 5 life or less. Discard your entire hand, destroy a monster on the center of your opponent's field, and deal 3 damage to your opponent. So that just knocks them down a notch. Impact, nice. Put that in there, and then we have Trio. Got the three amigos in there. Magic World spell card, cast cost, pay 1 gauge, pay 1 life. Put a monster from your drop zone into your hand. You may only cast Trio once per turn. And then our final card that we have in this box is Savage Lance Eisen Tiger. 3/2. Pay 1 life. If you have Flash Lance Blitz Tiger on your field, this card gets +1 crit. So this is getting me kind of curious. I didn't get anything in here that said I was allowed to equip 2 items. And I know in the anime he equipped this and another. So what was it that got him, that allowed him to equip 2 items at one time? That's kind of weird. But there you have it, everyone. So, to go over again, some of our double rares that we got, we have DJ of the Graveyard, Bune 3/1/2, 100 Demon. We have, which one of the cards that was featured in the anime right now, the Underling of the Fire Lord Ricky. Awesome artwork on that one. We also have another magic card over here, Fallen Demon Lord Rusifiel. Yeah, my questions on that. And then we have another magic card, Follower, Gape. And then we move on to our... Oh, we have one more here. Okay, nice. This is a double rare, Never Say Never, another Magic World. Beautiful. And then we have our triple R's. We'll be going on to our first 100 Demons. This is a 4/2/4, Dragon Knight, Pizarro. And then we have third Omni Water Lord, Misria, which is basically Curie, it looks like. 6/5, size 2 monster. Awesome. And then, the key card that I enjoy out of this one so very much, 4th Omni Fire Lord, Burn Nova. I think every deck needs to run one of these because it's basically an anti-impact card. It gives you back up their life and allows you to start attacking like crazy. There you have it, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today on this box opening, and I do appreciate any comments, suggestions, questions, or concerns that you might have. Leave those in the comments below, and I will try to address them if I get a chance. In the meantime, hopefully you can get ready and get set for the national tournament, the national competition that's going to be coming up in the Pomona Fairgrounds next month. I will definitely be there with my community, so hopefully I get to catch you over there and we can play some good games. Alright guys, so until then, thank you very much and keep fighting. Take care.